What's the income possibility for a Indian medical graduate settled in Canada?
On an average, it's roughly around 200 to 250 $100,000 per annum. So
What would be the process if somebody wants to apply in Canada? What about the possibility of earning in US?
like $500,000, 500,000, $5 lakh.
Which branches of medicine do you think have the highest potential in US and Canada?
Oh, transplant surgeons, cosmetic surgeons.
Which five branches, that includes the super specialties also, do you think will be have the highest potential in the next 10 years?
10 years down the lane, I think.
So before we start with who is going to be today's guest, my first request is please subscribe to the channel. We are on a mission to build India's largest community of medicos. So I need your help in that. So as per your demand, I have again got a very special guest. He is an epidemiologist. He has been a clinical researcher in PGI Chandigarh, and he is a worldwide known author and educator. I think you all know him. He's the legendary Dr. Mukhmohit Singh. We are again going to talk about PSM, community medicine, or SPM as we call it, but this time from a different angle. We have talked in detail about how to get into WHO, the best ways to get into clinical research, and to know what kind of research the world is looking for. We know today that PSM is not just a clinical branch, but it's one of the best branches to have the perfect work-life balance. We have also asked the question, the most demanded one, what's the earning of an MD PSM? And to top it off, how to be the best clinical researcher in town. So let's put our hands together and let's invite the educator, the author, the epidemiologist, the clinical researcher from PGI, Dr. Mukhmohit Singh. Welcome, sir, to the Nachiket Bhatia Show.
Thank you so much, boss.
Thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure and a privilege that we are able to connect together on this amazing platform.
Thank you, sir. And guys, I want to tell you guys that this is not the first time we are meeting. Dr. Sir has been associated with my father for last, sir, I think 25, 26 years now.
23 years to be precise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, sir, before we move on to who Dr. Mukhmohit is, the eminent PSM specialist in our country, we want to know the beginning of Dr. Mukhmohit. How did Dr. Mukhmohit chose MBBS as his career, and why did Dr. Mukhmohit chose PSM as a specialty?
So it all obviously dates back to when I was a kid, and as everybody has dreams, I wanted to be a pilot. My father was in Air Force, and I always wanted to go into armed forces, and we had that dream, कि soldier banenge. But then slowly, as the time evolves, as things evolve, I changed my liking towards medicine, and fortunately, I got this opportunity to study medicine and get into medicine. But all said and done, I always had liking of teaching since my 12th grade. So that's how it started. I entered into medicine.
So then, sir, why did you choose PSM as your specialty?
Well, PSM, when in 2005 and 6, there was no NEET exam, no NEET PG. So we had to give that state exams and all India exam. I was getting diploma anesthesia, forensic, and PSM. So my wife was already in community medicine. So I wanted not to take community medicine, but go into biochemistry or some other branch. And always I wanted a branch which was like from 9 to 5 or 10 to 5 types of thing, because I didn't want into clinical stuff, more into night duties and all those things. And I wanted to have a family time as well. So I chose biochemistry. But then very soon I got another opening in community medicine seat again. So I think God has its own way. So I shifted from biochemistry to community medicine, and that's how I got community medicine. I didn't take it by choice, but it was the thing which was given to me.
That's God's grace, I
Yes,
guess.
yes, absolutely.
Before we move on to the further things, I know you have been related with Dr. Bhatia for so long.
Yes.
So, just as a nostalgia point of view, can you just tell us how you actually met Dr. Bhatia for the first time?
It goes back to, I think, 16th or 17th December 2003, when I came to Delhi for taking coaching from sir. So that's the first point I met Bhatia sir. And somehow we joined the coaching. We were 3-4 friends. We joined the coaching. And then I don't know how, but it happened that Bhatia sir had something in his mind, and he asked me one day that, Mukhmohit, you come here. I think you are good at studies. That's okay, but I think you're good in kind of extracurricular management stuff as well. So would you help me for PGI exam marketing? So I said, yes, sir. My dad will be there, and I'll also go. So we started working for the PGI exam, which was conducted in Chandigarh because I was from Chandigarh. So we distributed diaries and helps her. And a long time back, like 20 years ago, this was the thing which was followed. So I started working for marketing and stuff. And slowly, I did my established center, started working more closely with Bhatia sir, and that's how the thing started.
So much history is there. No?
Yes.
Even if you meet after 20 years, it's like it's just as
Yes.
next day.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great. Coming back to PSM, we already had a podcast about PSM.
Right.
But as a person, as a specialist yourself, we do want your opinion. So I'm going to start with a very simple question:
Right.
the pros and cons of choosing PSM as a specialty.
If you ask me personally, Dr. Nachiket, I think community medicine was a branch which I had an inclination during my MBBS time as well. So PSM, my seniors also told me it's a 5-star branch. So after doing PSM, you have the entire world of opportunities open to you. Like you can work as a PSM faculty, which I think 90% of the people would actually be doing it. The second thing that people can do is they can attach themselves with the government of India, and there are district officers, there are district program officers, state level program officers. You can handle malaria program, TB program. You can work as epidemiologist in government. So the second opportunity is with the government of India, where you actually do the field work. Then the third opportunity, which again many people don't probably lay stress upon, that is regarding the research methods. So people have opened like research institutes. Very close friend of mine, he's working as in metadata, big data, in healthcare system. There's a lot of opportunities in artificial intelligence. People are doing work. So that is the third area where people can work, is into research and providing more better research. India is having a huge potential of research which is not yet utilized. That is the third area. The fourth area where people can more focus after doing community medicine is more into like working as NGOs, non-governmental organization, where you actually land up in doing the field work and stuff like these. And the fifth area is, I think that's the most lucrative, which everybody talks about, is WHO, UNICEF, United Nations, joining these international organizations for providing healthcare to the community. So these were 4 or 5 things which actually I was more inclined towards, that I'll probably work in United Nations and I'll be wearing that blue shirt and tie and visiting the NATO and having conferences. So that's what made me enter into community medicine.
Do you ever regret choosing this branch? Because I'm sure it must have some cons in it.
Of course, never at all. I'm thankful to God that I went into community medicine and I chose community medicine. And I think God has their own ways of doing things. I was thinking of biochemistry, anesthesia, forensic at one time. I ended up in community medicine. I never regret that because I have passion for that now. So I have passion for teaching. I have passion for academics and research. And all said and done, this is the branch of my choice because it gives you that leverage. You're not bound to uh, taking your lunchbox and reaching the hospital every day at 8 p.m. and you're finishing by 5 o'clock, or night duties. It doesn't have that. So I have no regrets in community medicine, not at all.
That's one of the best answers I've got.
Thank you.
Boss, PSM and WHO. I think these two names go hand in hand.
Right.
Whenever people think about PSM, they are thinking, okay, one day we'll go to WHO and
Yeah.
we are that.
I
blue
had the
shirt.
same dream. Yes.
So, what are the opportunities, the actual opportunities in WHO? I mean,
Right.
what can a PSM MD go and do in WHO?
Well, after residency, many people land up in academic jobs only. But some have the courage to enter into WHO and UNICEF and United Nations. Of course, it's not so easy as it seems. It's everything that is not served in a platter. When we join United Nations or WHO, first we have to give an interview. There's series. There's a set protocol which you have to clear through, and then they will place you in some fields. Then you have to work in the field. You have to rough that field out. You have to work for 2 3 years. They'll put you in somewhere in Assam, Mizoram, some tribal area. They'll put where there is no electricity. Sometimes there's no good food, there's not there, you're not in that tier A cities, B cities, so you have to rough out that time for 3-4 years. And if you are able to work and show your output in that field, then they will put you into a better position, then better position, and that's how you enter into United Nations. It's a simple online platform where you like it, you have to apply online. But all said and done, it's not so lucrative in the first early years. Everything has its own, it takes its own course. So that's what happens in WHO United Nations as well. You have to apply for those positions which are available. You can just see it online, and all the positions, WHO vacancies are available online. You have to apply, make a resume, and you have to show that you are doing voluntary work as well. That's very important in WHO. So all the medical specialists who have done community medicine, or even people who have not done community medicine, even MBBS students, and even students from other fields also, like dental people and Ayush doctors, nurses, who have inclination towards public health, they can do some field work and again apply for the same positions in WHO and United Nations.
Boss, I've heard the resume part, as you have just said, that the resume is the most important thing when you're applying for a job.
Yeah.
Because unlike the corporate jobs, they actually go through a resume.
Yes.
They expect lots of stuff that people might not know.
Right.
So can you just tell us in detail that how to actually build a good resume for United Nations?
First of all is your educational background, of course. Second thing, what people in United Nations and WHO look for is how much voluntary work we have done. That's very important. That is one area which I think in the Indian educational cultural system, we don't have a scope for voluntary work. Vis-a-vis, if you look at any of the foreign countries, any of the countries in North America, in US, Australia, Canada, UK, anywhere, they have a lot of stress on voluntary organizations. So organizations like Care Foundation in India, organizations like Red Cross, organization like Lions Club, so they do have these opportunities where doctors or healthcare workers, they can contribute towards a societal cause, and they give, in return they will give certificates and things like this. So you have to build a resume where you are able to show to the organization that yes, you are contributing something to the society, and if given an opportunity in WHO or United Nations, you will be able to contribute more to the society by using their platform, and you'll be more useful as a global citizen, you can say.
Do you think there is a bias amongst the private and government colleges when it comes to the resume part? That if you are from a private college, you might not get a WHO job?
I don't think so. I absolutely don't think so. But yes, there's some level, a minor level of distinction is usually made. I had been a victim of that as well. I myself did it from private medical college. So we had that a small level of discrimination. But all said and done, at the end of the day, what counts is what work we have done. Your work always speaks. But yes, there is a slight discrimination which might be there.
Is there any special voluntary work which they consider a priority amongst all the voluntary works?
India is mother and child health. So people who are working into immunizations, people who are working for mother health, providing better maternity care, or providing access to the medical healthcare system for mother and child health, they are given priority. Second in line is emergency, like people who are working with blood banks, providing ambulance services. So there are a lot of voluntary organizations which hire doctors for these things. And third is, of course, geriatric health. So in this order only. So first is mother child health, people who are working trauma, emergency medical care, and geriatrics, old age.
So can you share some organizations which are the best ones in India to provide these kind of voluntary works?
Red Cross, Lions Club. I had been associated with Red Cross all through my life. Lions Club is another organization. There are a lot of NGOs, local NGOs, which are working. So there'll be self-help groups as well, usually working in the slum areas. And once you enter into any NGO, then you know the whole NGO system, and you become a good known person in that NGO field also. So then other NGOs also start contacting you. So these are some of the ones which are working all across India. And then we have the Care Foundation also, which works for elderly care and for pediatric care.
For how much time does a doctor need to work in these organizations to actually get a substantial resume?
There's no time limit. It's usually 1 to 2 years they can work. Okay. But of course, the more, the better.
And do they basically start in their MBBS days, or post MBBS only?
In India, culturally, mostly people would start after MBBS.
Hmm.
But yeah, during MBBS, if they are associated, it's all the better. It gives you more like substance to your resume.
Because I believe that, especially MD PSM, I believe doctors can always be great entrepreneurs, but MD PSM has a slight edge.
Yes.
They are good in analytics. They know the number of people in our
Yeah.
country. They
Yeah.
know how to,
Yeah.
divide them segment wise in the whole population. So, do you think MD PSM can be the best entrepreneurs?
I definitely always think like that. Because in MD community medicine, I think that MD PSM in India, it's a privileged residency program. Because we learn about medicine, surgery, a little bit about everything. Then we also learn quite in detail about neonatology, about pediatric care. Then in our curriculum, we also have the communicable disease. You talk about polio, Japanese encephalitis, you talk about COVID-19, you talk about respiratory illnesses, diarrhea, everything is included. And then there is also health management. We talk about MBA stuff. We talk about human resource, financial management. We talk about everything like about time management, how to do personal management, organizational designs. What are the problems that bigger organizations would face? So that is management. Then there is third area in community medicine that is about statistics, medical research, where we talk about everything in statistics like correlation graphs. You talk about use of statistical softwares. You talk about everything in stats. So I don't think there's any branch in medicine which will do pediatrics and medicine and gynae and health MBA and statistics
And
and
maths.
and mathematics every and we forgot about environment, and you talk about the centimeters of the toilet and latrine
Yes.
and stuff like that. So I think it's a privileged residency, provided you can adapt to that residency. So a student who can adapt to this will, of course, become the best of the best entrepreneur. Because what is entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is just it's an ideology, I think, that you bring something which is useful for the society, and you take that loophole into the system where people need that thing. So if you're providing that, you are entrepreneurs. So I feel it's just a fancy word given to this. So if I teach you everything, then of course something is going to click.
True.
So I think PSM people would rock the whole game.
I think if somebody's starting a health tech startup,
Yes.
okay, and the tech guy is there
Oh
and they are
yes.
needing a doctor, I think PSM guys are the best one for it.
One of my again very one of my batchmates, he's working in artificial intelligence. He's modeling about how people are learning the social media apps, and he's doing AI stuff in learning of the social media. Just because he's a community medicine, he knew about the organization, he knew about statistics, he knew about cognitive learning and about the medical aspect also. So I think yes, definitely PSM has a lot of potential in that, provided you are able to use it.
Normally, I've seen a lot of PSM people actually going towards teaching or research.
Right.
Can they also do clinical practice and be a successful practitioner?
Yes, of course. PSM, and again, that same thing. We should be thankful to the Indian system that PSM residency teaches you medicine, it teaches you surgery. It is not surgery as such, but yes, medical aspect we do learn. We do learn about almost all the diseases. We learn about hepatitis, typhoid, investigation of choice, standards of treatment, dengue. You can do GP practice much better than, I may be biased towards community medicine, but I think people might be able to become better GPs by doing community medicine, because they have that intellect of being associated with the patient as well. You're not treating, a clinician would probably treat a disease. A community medicine person would probably treat a person who's having the disease, because a person who's got TB, if you give them the TB medicine, but until and unless he's living in that situation, he doesn't know how TB spreads, he doesn't know how malaria spreads, you can't treat TB. So you have to come to the grassroots level. And that is what will differentiate between a community medicine specialist as a GP compared to a respiratory medical specialist, a pulmonary medicine specialist who's treating TB. So I think community medicine will have that extra edge.
Boss, we have just discussed that there are huge potentials for an MD PSM in entrepreneurship. We always know that the teaching is always an option, research is always an option. But what about job possibilities in the government sector and the corporate sector?
Yeah, I had been working with the government of India, with the UT Chandigarh administration as epidemiologist, and I love my job. I had been working as anti-malaria officer in Chandigarh. So we definitely have a lot of opportunities in government as epidemiologists. People can apply for jobs, and as program officers, very most of the people who are working as district program officers in TB, who are running tuberculosis program, malaria program, they're actually community medicine people. So because they have that understanding about how the management would work, how would the human resource system work, budgeting, planning, programming, everything, they know about it. So there's a lot of opportunities people can apply for the epidemiologist job, and it's a fun way of living your lifestyle, because you get that government of India attachment with that, and then you are able to perform. And all the CHCs, PHCs, they are under you. You go there, you supervise things, you get a government of India vehicle as well, so you enjoy all the perks from government of India, which I think no doctor would get if you're into clinical medicine.
True. What about the corporate sector? What are the job possibilities there?
Yeah, corporate sector, big corporate hospitals like Max, Apollo, Medanta, they all have these health consultancies. So people who are managing these hospitals, the medical superintendents or the administrators, they are people who have done MBBS along with MBA. And on top of that, if there is, let us say there is one position in any XYZ corporate hospital, big hospital, and there is one person who's done MBBS and MBA, compared to a person who's done MD community medicine with MBA, or who has huge, immense background experience with handling corporate hospitals, they will definitely get the extra edge because they know about the management and about the healthcare system and about the diseases as well. So after MBBS, yes, after MD community medicine, yes, there's a lot of opportunities. People can go with the corporate hospitals for administration and management of the corporate hospitals, and they are giving much better returns in terms of the bed occupancy rates or the bed turnover rates, and the hospitals are happy, the doctors are happy, so that's how it is.
Is it actually a good idea to do MPH after MD community medicine?
MPH after MD community medicine, I don't think that'll be a much value addition, but MPH any day, people do it from many different universities across India and outside India as well. So it's not much of a value addition, but yes, it does give you insight about how the core public health system will work. So people who are interested into maybe United Nations or applying for jobs, they should start early. But people who are interested more into opening of health consultancies or having their own entrepreneurship, they should enter into MPH. They can definitely think of doing MPH from a very good institute. Like anywhere you find, usually in North America or in UK, they have pretty good institutes which are offering MPH things for MPH courses for community medicine specialists. So yes, there will be a little bit value addition, but only for those sector who are planning for entrepreneurship.
And is it advisable to do MPH instead of MD community medicine?
It's something like you're getting a butter naan and a plain fulka.
Okay.
Yeah, you can compare with that. MPH is good. Many students do ask us like, is MPH? It's kind of a shortcut which may be taken, but I personally would not advocate that, because who are the people who are entering MPH? It could be MBBS doctors. It could also be the dental doctors. It could also be Ayush doctors. It could be homeopaths. It could be nurses. So person who has done MBBS, they are sitting on the same platform where other people might be sitting. So you are actually wasting your MBBS potential. So better than that, do MD community medicine and then think of doing MPH. People who have not done MBBS, for them MPH would be a much better prospect rather than an MBBS doing MPH.
Boss, what would your advice be to a new JR1 entering the PSM department?
Your God is HOD community medicine in your department. No messing around with your HOD and with your God. Your guide is your second God and second in command, and follow them, follow whatever they say, read that's what I had also done. I had that Punjabi thing in me that when I enter into JR1, I will become this, I am that. Oh, it just vanished off within first month only. I understood God is only one, that is HOD community medicine. So that's what is my sincere advice to all the students, that people who are joining any department, any residency, beta, the God is your HOD community medicine or HOD department. They should always be given their due respect, and we should follow the teachers and just follow what the curriculum is, and go with the flow. and try to learn maximum in research. So all those who are JR1 community medicine, you should learn maximum in research, because that is what I feel the whole country. It's old times now that people are medicine and surgery and pathology and pharmacology and things like this. I think the new India that we are seeing after 2050 would be the time where we are talking about globalization, where we are talking about more in-depth understanding about artificial intelligence, use of robotics, and that is where the whole story is going to go. And a person who's more into futuristic idea is going to have better chances of success rather than a person who's clinging on with the conventional ideas.
Was there's a lot of confusion regarding how to basically judge whether this college's PSM department is good or not?
Yeah.
Because unlike other departments,
Yes.
there's no patient flow or anything.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are just,
Yes.
word of mouth is the only way to go ahead with
Right.
it. So, according to you, what is the perfect KPI, basically the key parameters to judge whether this department is as good as they say or not?
That's a very common question. I think many of the students also ask us all the time. The first thing I always say is that you should choose the top colleges in India, which are, of course, the central institutes, beyond doubt on that. So, AIMS, JIPMER, all CMC, Vellore. These are the top notch community medicine colleges or medical colleges, we can say. The second in line is always the government colleges, where you have a better patient flow and where you have an established system of teaching medical curriculum. You have an established system of rural health centers and things like this. Then third line comes all the private colleges, where you have established things like old private colleges which are running since many years, without taking names of any of such colleges. But there are many private colleges in every city would have that, which are running since years. Then you should go into that. And the fourth category is all the new colleges. As far as I understand, I'm never personally speaking, so I may be contradicting many other faculties or many other people, but I personally feel that college, it doesn't sound to me. I do not resonate with that, because people who have done from I've seen people who have done from All India Institute and working as faculties, they are working at XYZ amount. And I've seen people who have done it from new private colleges which had nothing, and they are earning much better. So that earning funda, it AIMS college does not guarantee you that you'll be the best earner. I personally feel that a branch does not decide the scope. I always say this, that you take medicine, you take surgery, you take college A, college B, that is not going to define the scope of that subject or that person. The person will decide what they do to that branch. If possible, I have seen so many people who have done MD radio and they are earning small amount. And I've seen so many people who have done MD anatomy from private medical college, they are the top of the top. You talk about them. One of my very close friends, she is working on some brain nerves, and she's working on Alzheimer's, and she got a president award this time. She's from a very bekar small private college in India, and she's done MD anatomy. You talk about the service of that person will define the branch, not the branch or the college will define that person. Whose college to define me? I have to decide what I have to do with whatever I have. And a person who can understand this, then they will be then Gagan bhi aapka, dharti bhi aapki, everything is yours. That's what I personally feel.
Basically, seen the Indian market, you have seen Canadian market very closely.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the Canadian market, and guys, we are going to talk about the Canadian medical industry in detail. I would like to know actually what is the possibility of an MD PSM getting a job abroad, the whole world?
MD community medicine is just like any other residency. People who are doing MD community medicine, they have a slightly better edge that we don't have so much patient interaction. So we have an option of going to public health as well. And we have an option of going into health management services as well. We have community medicine has an option of many people don't know this. They have an option of working into as environment hygienist as well. There is a term called as environment and occupational hygienist. So they can work for different industries across the globe, especially in North America. Every industry is supposed to take and hire an environment hygienist. There's a small course, 6 months course, which you do after 3 years residency after community. So there are a lot of branches. But all said and done, there's nothing called as community medicine in US or Canada. You don't like, there is community medicine, but it's not the same like PSM in India, preventive social medicine. They don't have PSM subject. So it's just like any other residency. You apply for their residency positions. Again, you do GP practice or you do the residency, whatever you get with the residency matching system, and then you work over there. So it's not that if you're done community medicine from India, there you apply for assistant professor, you will not get. It's not that rosy thing. No, it doesn't happen.
So, what are the best countries abroad to apply for MD PSM job?
After MD PSM, any country is like good, apart from you can say China, Russia, Bangladesh, all these. So any country is good, but yeah, more jobs we get in North America and Australia, US, Canada, Australia, and many people have also started going to Ireland, Ireland and UK as community medicine specialist. And working in environment, working in occupational health, and many other research areas. But then you need to give some value addition, like you have to do some fellowship or you do some small courses, and then you apply for the jobs over there.
Is there any super specialty available in this branch?
In community medicine, unfortunately, there's no super specialty, but yes, there people do MPH in epidemiology. You work in as in pure in epidemiology for 3 years, and then you become a hi-fi epidemiologist kind of function, but there's no super specialty in
So
this.
basically, that's an add-on masters that you
Yes,
can do.
add-on masters.
It adds a great sum to your resume.
Oh yes, yeah. Occupational health people do environment thing, people do epidemiology, people do medical statistics, people do health management courses. So many value additions you can do. These are like small course or fellowships you can.
We can see the mess that NBE, NMC together are creating in India, and people are more than happy to move out right now.
Right.
I agree with them because the mess is increasing daily.
Day by day.
I mean, the last JR1s that have taken place, they are right now working for almost 18 to 24 months, and
I
the
know
next JR1 has not entered yet.
Yes, I
The
know.
counseling is an absolute mess, the exam is an absolute mess.
Absolutely.
So people are getting apprehensive of the system, they are
Yeah.
getting tired of the system, and they want to see what are the other opportunities.
Many students are doing that now.
Yes.
They've started.
And no
applying.
doubt the respect of doctors abroad, especially the respect. Of course, the income is substantially high,
Yeah.
but there is always something higher than income, which is called respect.
Yeah.
All right. The respect and the love that people have for them outside is much better.
Much better. Yes,
Yes.
that's correct.
So there's that decency of not hitting the doctor.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
Yes.
I've never seen any report like this. Not
Uh,
even touching. It's not. It's not allowed. I don't think it's not allowed. It's not in their culture to do that.
And here we are seeing a report daily that a doctor has been hit.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
now
unfortunate.
it's not just like physical assault. Now the
It has taken to
knives,
a
hammers
extreme
have been
level.
added.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the things are getting extreme every day.
Yes.
So that being scared is reasonable.
Right.
Now, boss, considering everything, right now, what is the best possibility in UK, Canada, and US for an Indian doctor
And Australia.
and Australia?
Yeah. These are the four premium countries where people are moving outside. Brain drain is happening, which is unfortunate for our country, but all said and done, that's what it is. So as far as all these four countries are concerned, sir, UK is one country where a lot of students would like to go in the initial part after their MBBS. Without having any experience, they can appear for the PLAB exams, they can apply for jobs directly in Ireland, and many people are going to UK and Ireland. And of course, Germany as well. But then you need to clear their language exams. I'm not very sure about Germany, but yes, they have to clear the language exams and then do a residency in Germany as well. Now, talking about the other three countries, that is Canada, Australia, and US, Australia is another subcontinent which is requiring doctors right now. UK is almost like saturated with doctors. Many doctors have gone through. Since I was doing MBBS 20 years ago, we have seen doctors going to UK. So it's kind of a saturated situation, but Australia, they want more doctors, and people can apply for the Australian Medical Council exams, AMC exams. These are 2 exams, and a student who is freshly cleared MBBS can think of moving to Australia as a medical practitioner, as a doctor, because total Canada, that whole country, it has only 3,700 specialty seats. So 3,700 doctors become specialists in the full country in any given 1 year. So they have only this much seats. Out of these seats, only 600 seats or 670 seats, I think 670, 650 seats are for internationally trained medical graduates. There are 2 terms they use is Canadian, who is internationally trained doctor, and then international medical graduates who are outside Canadians and they are outside education. They have only 650 seats. So in a year, you are competing with the whole world will get only 600. It is the most toughest thing, which I would say is not. It shouldn't be on the charts until unless you have someone in Canada who can support you, can help you with the monetary things, living things, and day-to-day things. Now coming to the best one, that is the US. US is always open. It has 40,000, 45,000 seats, and almost there's no discrimination between US grads and international, and people are getting into US seats. That is the easiest to enter. But all said and done, before even thinking of going outside, you should have basically 2 3 points very clear in your mind. One is, after MBBS, life is not so rosy as it looks, that okay, I'm frustrated here, and if I go to US or Canada, I'll be a king or I'll be the richest person. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to be very clear on this, that first 4 5 years it will be a very tough road. Point one. Mentally, emotionally, because you'll be away from your family. Your mummy papa is here, your brother, sister, friends, everybody will be here. Second is, for 4 5 years you'll have to have financial hardships, because living in countries like US and Canada, if you're living in a very, if you have car, if you have good heated house, if you have everything, then you're kind of good. But a student life where you don't have car, you have to go to buy milk, you have to go walk. So in US and Canada, there's no walking system. Like, it's difficult to use those. They don't have very established public transport system. So you have to go to buy milk or grocery shopping. You'll have to do that hard work yourself in snow or whatever it is. So there will be financial hardships, there'll be emotional hardships. You have to be ready for that. It's not so easy. Living in US, Canada, it's pretty expensive. We can just see online how much the expenses are. Now, in case a student says that I have my relatives there, that is the best thing they can do. If they have relative, they can go there, apply for the exams, sit for the exams, and then wait for the residency. So out of these 4 countries, the question was, which one is the easiest thing? US. Next in line, I would recommend Australia or UK. Third and fourth is Canada. That's how the system would go.
And that's a well-defined answer, boss.
Is that?
Yeah, it's a very
Thank you.
well-defined answer with the pure pros and cons.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you is that what would be the process if somebody wants to apply in Canada? So, what is the process that he has to go through?
In Canada, as a doctor, when we go, there's a website called as Physicians Apply. So every medical practitioner, they if they are registered back home in their country, wherever they are from, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, wherever you guys are from, so they have to create an account on the CA Physicians Apply. CA stands for Canada. Canada Physicians Apply. They have to. That's the name of the website, Physicians Apply. So they have to create an account on that, and once they create an account, they have to submit their degrees and their whatever they have, educational background. They will cross check it from the medical college. It usually takes 1 month to 2 month time. It could be more or less depending on the demand and supply thing. So once you get the physician apply go ahead, then you can pay money for applying for the exam. The exam, they call it as QE. QE stands for the qualifying exam. So there are 2 qualifying exams, 1 and 2, and they have to apply for the qualifying exam. And then they have to, once they sit for that exam, qualifying exam, QE1, then they go with the NAC. NAC is National Accreditation Competency Exam, I think, NAC exam. And after the NAC exam, that is the clinical assessment. So after the clinical assessment exam, then they will apply, after clearing this, they will apply for CAMS. CAMS is a residency matching system, Canadian residency matching system. In the residency matching, they will get the residency. Usually the easier one to get is GP or sometimes the medical field. The toughest ones are surgical fields. So GP, psychiatry, pediatrics, these are kind of relatively easier to get. And once they get the residency, they do the residency and then they start as practitioners. If they do GP, they can work as general practitioners. That's the way to enter Canada.
Thank you for this, boss. Again, really well defined.
Thank you so much. And also, I'd like to point out that if there are specialists who have done specialization already, surgical specialization, orthopedics, surgeons, or medical specialists, there's a route called as a fast track route in Canada, which is not well defined by even the Canadian system also has not well defined that. Every province, there are 10 provinces in Canada. Every province has their own system for the physicians, for the specialists. So every specialist who has done from if I have done community medicine from India, and I can apply it as a community medicine specialist after giving QE1, that is the exam, and applying directly to that province, then they can even take me as specialist community medicine. But that's only very few seats, and it is interview based, and it will depend on what is your expertise and experience in previous years. So that's a fast track program. It's a direct recruitment program for the specialists as well, but the seats are less. The lesser traveled road. The more traveled road is obviously the CAMS and the residency.
What's the income possibility for a IMG, Indian medical graduate settled in Canada?
Canada and US systems, they don't differentiate after residency. They don't differentiate whether you're from India or from Pakistan or from Nigeria or from Dubai, wherever you are from. Once a doctor in Canada is a doctor in Canada and US. Generally speaking, let me talk about Canadian system first, about the financial earnings. Usually, it's all health insurance based. It's a social insurance in Canada. So the general practitioners, they'll earn usually $35 to $50 per patient, and they have a capping on that. On an average, it's roughly around 200 to 250 dollars per annum. So 2.5 lakh, 2 lakh to 2.5 lakh dollars per annum is a general, you can say, income from a general practitioner who's working in Canada. Consultants may even earn more, and general practitioners who are not into so much earning may even earn less. So that's usually the upper cap, you can say, the average upper cap of the general practitioner earning in Canada. And people who are consultants, they can even go up till $500,000, and people earn up till $1 million a year as specialist and consultant doctors.
So basically, if I say in Indian rupees, 2.5 lakh dollars would be around 1.3 crores.
1.5, 1.3 crores.
Yeah. Now, considering the price power parity, what would be the Indian number for this? Like, for example, normally it says is 1 crore is almost 25 to 30 lakh rupees.
A person is earning 200 to 50,000 in Canada, 2.5 lakh dollars in Canada. Usually on an average household expense would be something around 30 to 50,000 dollars. So that is the average, very lower average. I'm not taking the upper average. Lower average household expense would be around $3,000 to $5,000 per month. So on a year basis, it will come to $35 to $50,000. So that's what I said. So $30,000 to $50,000 is average, lower average of the income, of the expense, household expense. Then you have your car, then you have your house, and all said and done, you're looking at 5,000-6,000 a month, which is roughly around 60,000 a year. So you're saving that 100,000, let's say, on an average. 100,000 would be 60-70 lakh. That's what you're saving. So I think to your answer, 1.3 minus 60 would be 60 lakh you are saving.
And consider the fact that it must be also tax heavy.
You have different options available for tax saving and all that stuff. But of course, you are in an upper bracket area. Average income in Canada is only $60,000 to $70,000 per year, and doctor is earning $200,000.
Minus 30%.
Yes, absolutely. But then there are always systems and loopholes. Yeah.
What about the possibility of earning in US? I'll tell you very frankly why I'm asking this question. I have so many students of mine who have gone there, and I've seen a great disparity.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Some students have gone just, after residency, they've got some great jobs. I still remember one guy, he called me up 2 years back. He said, I have just cleared residency, got my first job, and bought a Lamborghini.
Oh, yeah.
And I told him, bro, I'm very happy for you, but thodi der ro ke aa raha hu. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
But I have also seen people not getting that kind of great job. So I had a wide variety of review from different people. So as an average, I mean, of course, much more people. So as an average, what's the pay scale there?
So as a dental doctor, dentist people earn almost as equal to a general practitioner in US. So it's more or less the same amount. So 200 to 250,000 to max up till 300,000, $3 lakh dollars they would be earning as general practitioners. Now, as you become a consultant, then your finances, then your income, it increases like exponentially, especially in US. Because they have the health insurance based system, but they don't have only social. Social means government insurance. They have private medical insurance. Now, in private medical insurance, then people start earning as business. Doctors have set up health and wellness centers. In health and wellness centers, there'll be beauty things, there'll be cosmetics, there'll be surgeries, minor surgeries, big surgeries, and that is massive. Now, sky is the limit. Average, I would say 500, 600, 5 point, like half a million, 500,000, 5 lakh dollars, $6 lakh would be an average kind of thing, which
Is this
is
for a starter or an established doctor?
a person who's done medicine in 5 years down the lane.
And what about, like, let's suppose 20 years after residency?
After 20 years, you reach that nirvana stage when you don't even need money. then you've done everything in life, right? But then, yeah, there'll be something around same. That's what is the beauty in these countries, that it's not that it is skyrocketing and your income would increase. There's a limit. They put a cap like this. So roughly, if a person has done 20 years down the lane, they'll be around 700,000 or 1 million. So it all depends. But then people, they don't work only as doctors. Many doctors, which you also might be knowing, 5 years, 10 years down the lane, at least my batchmates who are working in US, they don't work 6 days a week. Now, I have all my friends, not one, I won't say one, all my friends, they are working 1 week a month. They are 7 days only working, 1 day a week they will work, or 2 days. Then your income does not increase skyrocketing. Then you don't need so much money. Then you work only 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, you are with your family, watch TV, go outing with your kid, with your family, you cook dinner. That's what people do. And that's what actually at the end of the day would count. You're not going to eat money at the end.
Sir, in India, the problem is that we do not celebrate fitness or any extracurricular activity. We judge people just based on money, how much they're earning, how much they have. That's it. There is no other criteria. All my people who come from abroad, they are like, कि, bro, तुम लोग सारे पागलों से पैसे पीछे भागे जा रहे हो.
That's. I'm yet to come across any surgeon who's like with a big pot belly or बैठा हुआ है ऐसा वहाँ पे. There's no culture. In fact, all the people who are hikers in our group, like I'm into hiking a lot. So people who are doing a lot of hiking, they are almost all surgeons. They are all established consultants. So health, fitness, because at the end of the day, when we are done with this life, what are we going to carry? It's about our health only. Nobody is going to carry that whole
I think India, sir, India में अभी ना वो बहुत दूर है, वो सोच बहुत दूर है.
दूर है थोड़ा.
Even if today, for example, you meet a person who is fit and you meet a pot-bellied guy who has a lot of money, people are going to respect him more.
Absolutely, that's what it happens.
They won't even understand.
Pot belly.
Yes.
और लाला जी तो वही है. लाला जी कौन है?
They won't even understand the discipline that fit guy has made in his life.
Absolutely.
Eating less, working out daily. Moving on, nutrients and everything, discipline. But that has no respect.
That has
My friends from abroad, they come around, they are like कि तुम लोग पागलों से भागे जा रहे हो, and for them 5 day 9 to 5 is good enough, and after that somebody is doing swimming, somebody is organizing a tennis club.
Everybody, it's a routine, sir. It's a routine in US and Canada. So I had been like lucky to work with Canadian companies, coaching institutes for teaching public health. So all the teachers and all the doctors who are coming there for learning from us, all are super fit. I see a disparity in the fitness level in doctors in India compared to doctors in US and Canada. So there is a difference.
I think might be 10 years down the line, but that thing about fitness, that fitness is also a priority, and more priority than money might come into us also.
It should come. Hopefully it should come. Many people, anytime that we read books, people say US is suffering from obesity epidemic. I think who's writing this? US is, it should be our country is suffering from epidemic of obesity. I think young people who get cardiac arrest is maximum for India, because we are going through that transitional phase of society. But it's people need to work on their health, fitness as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Boss, which branches of medicine do you think have the highest potential in US and Canada?
Oh, transplant surgeons, cosmetic surgeons, plastic surgeons, transplant surgeons, any type of surgery. Ophthalmologists, they earn pretty nice. They are the top cream people. If a GP is working 3 days, 4 days a week, ophthalmologist works only half day or 1 day a week, it's equal. So they are like 3-4 times of the GP thing. So ophthalmologists, surgical branches, transplant surgeons, they are the top of the top.
What about Australia? Like this, the way we have discussed about US and Canada. What's the scope and the process in Australia?
I'm not very sure about Australia, but yes, what I know, what I understand from our culture is that Australia is a very good place for all the people who are starting up their medical education, medical career. So after MBBS, if people just do AMC, that is Australian Medical Council, it's 2 exams, and they get easily into the general practitioner. The quality of life is absolutely same in US or in Canada or in Australia. In fact, I would say Australia is a more beautiful country to stay in and live in. So the system is almost similar everywhere we go.
And the income potential there?
Similar. It's
Similar
still-
to US?
Similar to Canada.
Okay.
Similar to Canada.
I think still $2.5 lakh is a
Yes,
good amount.
it is a pretty good amount. Very good amount.
Answer for the last question of the evening.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a very simple question regarding the Indian medical system, and it's more of a prediction. All right, you have seen the whole community, you are an educator yourself. Which 5 branches, that includes the super specialties also, do you think will be have the highest potential in the next 10 years?
10 years down the lane, I think subjects or the branches like intervention radiology is going to be top of the charts. I personally feel, because AI coming into the system, or radiology would be, radiologist would be the people who will be working with AIs and enhancing the diagnostic capacity. So interventional radiology and radiology related fields would top. Then we have a lot of cancers which might be coming up because of the lifestyle. In US and Canada, actually, there's a lifestyle medicine also. Specialist in lifestyle medicine has started. It's a separate branch. They are called as consultant of lifestyle medicine. That is too much into the game. So lifestyle medicine branches like gastroenterology would be there, oncopathology, oncologist, oncosurgeons, medical oncologists. So these are the branches which would definitely have extra edge over others.
That's the future.
That is.
So basically, boss, we come to the end of our conversation, but the podcast does not end here. We are moving to the rapid fire round.
Okay.
So अतरंगी सवाल है आपके लिए, आपकी लाइफ के बारे में और जानने के लिए. So boss, the rules are very simple.
Right.
You have to be super truthful with us and super spontaneous.
Okay.
सोचना नहीं है.
Okay.
ठीक है ना? So what's your go-to comfort food after a long day?
Rajma chawal.
Punjab. What's the most interesting place you have traveled to and why?
Oh, Canada. It's Alberta. Beautiful places. Canada, Alberta.
Alberta.
Okay. There's a national park called Banff National Park. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
And Dr. Ashwini was also telling me about this.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Do you like solo trips or group travel?
Always group travel.
Do you have any hobbies that help you rewind?
I love music. I play flute. I play harmonica. And I like playing badminton. So these are a few of the things which I cherish all the time.
Nice. I would have loved if you have got your flute and played for us.
Oh yeah, next time we will.
What's your childhood habit you still have? What's a childhood habit?
Video games.
I love that too. Would you rather have unlimited money or unlimited free time?
Both. Not possible. Both. Not unlimited money will give me free time, right? So I think money is better.
If you had to delete one social media app forever, which one would it be?
Maybe Snapchat and Discord on my daughter's mobile.
So thank you so much, boss, for this scintillating conversation.
Yeah.
I think so well-defined answers. And we are
thank
really,
you. Thank
on
you so
behalf
much.
of everyone, we are super glad that we got a chance to host you here.
Thank you so much. Pleasure was all mine.
Yes, and it was genuinely an amazing conversation. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for watching today's episode. I hope aapko pasand aaya, because I loved it to the core. It's like PSM decoded to every core, and the best part again was a clear definitions regarding the protocols of US, UK and Australia. I don't think so you'll find better answers on Google as well. So I'm just glad to have Sir on the podcast, and thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the love that you're sharing with us. The views are increasing, and I'm getting so many thank you messages that my podcast is actually helping someone. So my intention, the reason I chose to start this podcast is actually fulfilled. So thank you so much for that. And who do you want the next guest to be? You can always message them and ask them to come to the Nachiket Bhatia Show. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and best of luck. God bless you.